So just click in there. So greetings, this is Edward Ojambo. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how I upgraded from NetBeans 26 to NetBeans 27. It's Apache NetBeans IDE. And I'm also going to review it as an advanced text editor for my use cases as a freelance programmer. And before we begin, quick reminder, I do a live stream every single day at 2 p.m. Eastern. You visit ojambo.com, go to watch menu, live sub menu, you can see the topics for this and upcoming tutorials. And in the live chat, you're free to post your requests for programming or lifestyle topics. As you can see, I have a direct link right to the live stream. And also be sure to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments for more frequent content. Speaking of the live stream, this is a live stream. You can also watch the embedded video in the article. If you want to post anything, you don't have to. You can post requests, but I said you don't have to. So, NetBeans. It's been around for a while. I believe it was started by Sun Microsystems, and then when they were bought by Oracle then donated the code base to the Apache Foundation, and the Apache Foundation is the one that now maintains the main maintainer of Apache NetBeans. Of course, it's open source and you're free to contribute to it. So there are multiple ways to contribute. I'll show you some ways you can contribute without actually having to write any code. It's still very helpful. So, for example, Apache NetBeans 27 is the latest stable release at time of this recording of the popular open source integrated development environment. That's IDE. So if you're a developer looking for an all-in-one tool for writing, debugging, and running your code, Apache NetBeans 27 offers just that. In this post and tutorial, of course, we'll take a closer look at what this release has to offer and how to install it with a focus on Fedora Linux. So I use Fedora Linux. I'm using Fedora, at the time of this recording, I'm using Fedora 42, which has the norm 48, and I'm using Wayland Desktop, and it works fine. In the past, I had some issues with, I think it was X-Wayland and all that. The copy paste was actually a pain in the butt, but now I don't have any issues. Another issue I had was the theming was kind of weird. It kind of looked like it was stuck in the 90s. They have done a pretty good job. I don't know if that was Oracle or they used some of the code that was donated by IBM, most likely. Yeah, it looks much better. And the speed is also it's now down to one of the slowest IDs again, but in the past it was actually one of the fastest of the big IDs. It's good enough for my use cases, and where you can find additional resources to enhance your programming journey. Okay, so as I said before, it's open source. It lets you create. Obviously, it's based. It's coded in Java. So obviously it's great if you're coding Java applications, but I use it for PHP because by default what Apache in the past, similar to Eclipse, is that you go to the website and you pick, I want the PHP version, and I want C++, all this. But what Apache NetBeans does is when you download, it comes with everything built right in, so you don't need to mark around. The only other thing is Python. That's still a separate plugin. I think it's because they probably don't have enough volunteers to make it part of the main IDE, because I know Python is very popular, but you can install that yourself. I have a tutorial dedicated to how to install the Python plugin for Apache. Another thing I do like about NetBeans is that it comes with like when you install it, you don't have to muck around. Like for example, in the past, for example, Eclipse, another programming language, you have to install and set up the PHP Xdebug, or you have to go around find some other tools. Like for example, usually when you're working with PHP, most of the time it's going to be web based. So clearly you're going to need like HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So with others, you have to go and muck around, find plugins, and get it all to work together. And especially in the past, where the code used to be completely separate, meaning that it didn't allow you to mix, for example, JavaScript and PHP, which didn't make any sense because I said it's web-based. Even if you're just making something in, say, JavaScript and HTML, the syntax highlighting will only be one of those languages. But I'm saying is that's never been a problem with NetBeans for me, and that's another thing I do like about it. All right, so NetBeans 27 comes with several enhancements that make development easier, faster, and more efficient. This release includes new features for editors, support for additional languages, and better integration with the latest libraries and frameworks. So obviously, since it's called Apache NetBeans, it's licensed under the Apache license 2.0, which I recently also did a review of the Apache license as well. So you can check that out. I even have an article on ojambo.com ensuring that it remains free and open to developers to use and modify. So what are the key features? The advanced code editor. It continues to improve this code editor, offering features such as, actually, let me open up NetBeans. I'm going to open up here, so make sure I don't have any client code. Do something stupid. I think I should. Yeah, okay, I'm going to close. Okay, yeah, I do have some client stuff, so I'm going to close that up before I show it to you. So here we go. This is the Apache NetBeans here. I recently just installed it probably 2 or 3 days ago. So as I said, it has offering features, syntax highlighting, auto completion, smart refactoring. These enhancements provide a smoother programming experience whether you're working with Java, HTML, or PHP. Now I said the only time I've used Apache NetBeans for Java was when I'm tutoring some students, and their professor says they have to use Apache NetBeans. Then, sorry, not Apache NetBeans. So then I would do Java stuff with it. For my Java stuff, mostly it's Android these days, so I use the Android Studio. But you can use Apache NetBeans even for Android Android development, because you can use something called NB Android. NB obviously stands for NetBeans, and obviously all of the Android development tools, you don't actually need to use Android Studio. You can just do it, for example, on the command line or your favorite editor. The only stuff like, say, the emulator, obviously you don't need Android Studio for that. You can use any one you want. Obviously, Android Studio makes it pretty straightforward. For example, I also do some C programming. Like my logic is usually in C if I'm making a game. So I prefer for now to use Android Studio, because I just click one button and then it will compile both the to take care of the Java stuff and the C stuff as well. I could write a script to do that for me as well. I've done that in the past. I think I used Guinea, so you can do that as well. But I'm saying is when they make a change, I don't feel like tweaking my scripts and stuff, so I just leave that on Android Studio. And it's also support for multiple programming languages, as I said before. It's out of the box. Just out of the box, there's Java, of course. There's HTML5, that means JavaScript, HTML, CSS3, all of that stuff. PHP, of course, and C++. I've used it for C. I haven't used it for C++. C++, I usually prefer to use something like, say, CodeLite or CodeBlocks, or even Guinea itself. So new integrations also make it easier to work with web frameworks like Angular and React. There's another thing here as well. This is not a new feature, but with NetBeans, if you have things like the SAS for CSS stylus sheets, it picks those up. Grant, all those type of tools, it picks them up right away as well, at least on Linux. In the past, and it has updated Git support. Version control is essential for modern software development, and NetBeans 27 comes with enhanced Git support, making it easier to track changes and collaborate with other developers. So this is actually important. I'll explain to you how you can contribute later on. And profile tools and cross-platform support. Obviously, it runs on Windows, macOS, including the Apple Silicon, and obviously Linux, and obviously BSDs and stuff like that as well. Anything that's POS. Okay, so how to install on Fedora Linux. So what I did was I went to the Apache official Apache website. So here you go to the Apache website here, and you can see the latest version is Apache NetBeans 27. That's the release. And I went to downloads. I don't recommend getting older releases because they they're not supported. I guess because of the amount of contributors they have, they only they only support the the latest release. So you can go and look at the full release schedule here. They try to release, I believe, is it quarterly, but sometimes they miss. So for example, you see here they released in February the 15th, and then that was for, what version was that? Oh, let's go here. That was for Apache 25, and then sometime in May they released Apache 26, and then very recently, for the August, they released Apache 27, and then see Apache 28. The goal is to release it. The goal is to release. You see here. The goal is to release that in November of this year, but most likely it'll probably be a little bit late, but that's fine. As I said, they try to release try to make 4 releases per year. So as you can see, also with that, they if you can contribute, that'll be very nice. Hopefully, get even more contributors. Okay, so again, you just go to the download, and you see there's a binary. This one here, which is platform independent, means that it will be able to run on the Macs, Windows, and Linux. And I'll show you the folder where I installed this. And then you should also get the SHA or PGP or GNU PG, and to check the what do you call it? To check to make sure that the binary file has not been compromised. You can also do the same thing for the course and compile it yourself, but I'm going to do that. And there's also GitHub links, and then they do have installers and packages. For example, friends of Apache NetBeans, they have installers for Windows, Mac, Linux, deb package RPMs. Deb is for Debians, RPM is for Red Hat type Linux, like Fedora I am, with the NB package. NB always stands for NetBeans. Also for Linux, there's a snap package, and there's also some what do you call it? Some volunteers who have also made a Flatpak version for Linux as well. I have tested the Flatpak version in the past. The only thing I didn't like about it wasn't able to use the terminal, so that's why I don't use it. I use what do you call it? I just get the download right from their site. So as you can see, there's some known issues here. For example, starting from NetBeans 23, which was clearly released this year, 2025, no longer supports. I think it was late last year. I apologize for that. It no longer supports string templates. So just be aware of that. And then they have some other issues, which are still issues even in this release. All right. So I believe, if you download this, one of the installers and packages, I believe they come with, they all include a local JDK runtime. So if you don't have any Java stuff installed in your system, you don't have to worry about it. It will come with a package as well. So obviously make the package bigger. But I said I'm on Linux, so I already have OpenJDK because I do, as I said, Android development and some other stuff as well. All right, so so one of the problems with NetBeans is that it doesn't have an auto updater. So you also have to do this manually. Whether you do this or this. So hopefully, as I said, I think once I get enough contributors, they'll have an auto update, an updater. You click and it updates itself. So I say just download this, then you zip it up, and I'm going to show you You zip it up. Then when you unzip it, it will create a folder here. See, like NetBeans, and this is what it will look like. I'm on Linux, but it will be the same in all the other all the other operating system, because it's just a zip file. So in the bin folder here, you can see this is a script file. It's literally just a text file, and then you have the .netbeans.exe, that's for 32-bit systems, and then you have NetBeans 64-bit, that's for executable. So these two files are obviously for Windows, and this one here is for obviously POX type systems, that's Unix, macOS, which is actually a certified Unix system, and then Linux, BSDs, and all that. So this file here is literally, as I said, just a text file. And you see it's if you look at the file size down here, you can see it's only 10 kilobytes, and while this one is much bigger. All right, so I can actually open this file up into NetBeans just to prove it to you. Just drag, oops, sometimes dragging and dropping doesn't work. There we go. So let me just, yeah, so you go, so you can see it's literally, let me zoom in as well. As you can see, it's just a /bin/sh, which stands for obviously shell, and you can see, yeah, it's just a text file. I just realized something. This sh didn't pick up. There's no syntax highlighting for that. Okay, that is interesting. I guess I have to install the syntax highlighter for that one. But yeah, so that's it. That's all I wanted to show you here. Now let's go over NetBeans and take a quick overview. So when you start NetBeans, it has a welcome screen. Obviously, I disabled that. If you want to see the welcome screen, I believe it's under it's somewhere here. I can't remember where it was, but I don't care to check for it. And here you see this is the about, and you can tell I'm running Apache NetBeans 27. The JDK version I have, or Java version I have, is 21.0.8. It's OpenJDK, 64-bit, and my system is Linux. I'm using the kernel 6.16.7.200, and it's Fedora Core 42, and all the rest of that stuff. Okay, so you can just run that file, that script file, change it to executable. I think it already is, and then you run it. So obviously, if you're on Linux, you also make a desktop file, so you'll be able to open it up. You open it up, so that way when I search, I search for NetBeans, it will show up there. So the desktop files, you can put the desktop files in your actually I'll show you that. Let me go back here, and I think it's in .local, if I remember correctly. It's .local. Yeah, I'll show you this, what I'm doing right now. You see it creates a .NetBeans. There's 26, and I can delete the 26 because I'm now on 27. And then what else? It imported. It found that it was 26 already, so it imported. So that's why I can delete that. I believe, where am I looking for .local? It's L. Yeah, local here, and I believe it's in share. Share and application. I think it's application. Here we go. And you see this is the desktop files. So for example, you see I have the netbeans.desktop. So I'll open this up guys for you. I'll zoom in again, and you can see it's NetBeans. If I change the name to NetBeans 27, it'll be NetBeans 27, but I just left it as NetBeans. And you can see the path where the icon is. I'm using the SVG version. Terminal I set it to false because I don't want to run in the terminal. This type is application, categories IDE, and the keywords are all there, where to be executing from. And just to prove it to you, let me actually double click this. You see it's running in the NetBeans folder. Remember that? Bins and NetBeans. That's it. That's literally all it does. And this is just for the icon, and you guys saw where the icon was. All right, now You can also put this in the /user share folder for global if you're installing globally. And some distros, at least I think all distros in the past, they used to have a version of NetBeans in their own repositories. But one of the problems was even when NetBeans didn't have the fast fast release schedule, some of them were really dated. I remember like when I was using Debian, it was stuck on like NetBeans 5 or something when NetBeans was like 8.2 or something, so like several versions behind. So yeah, I think because they even probably have even less volunteers than NetBeans itself. Okay, so with that said, go back to NetBeans here. I don't need this anymore. So obviously they usually have the file menu. You can create a new project, new file, open project, close file, all that kind of stuff, project groups. You can import projects. You can set up the page setup. I didn't even know why would you set up? Oh, this is for printing, I'm guessing, right? Oop, looks like it got stuck there. Okay, that was weird. All right, and then we have the edit menu where, oh, this is really nice. The one I always use is find in projects. This is the kind of stuff that's usually in text editors, like say Notepad++. I like that feature. I've never used Java Shell, and obviously you can paste from the history, find and replace. Very nice. Under the view menu, you can obviously, as you can see, you can toggle stuff like line numbers, breadcrumbs, indent guidelines, version labels. I like the version labels, so to show if something is it will show what repository it is. For example, I'm using the main or a testing one, it shows that. I like that. And synchronize editor with views and full screen. I don't use full screen anymore. Because both on my laptop and desktop I have obviously big enough screens, but I'm sure if I predominantly use the laptop I would probably use full screen. I usually do that when I was doing tutoring, so when I'd meet up with some students, I tutor them, so I would have it show them what to do. The navigate, this one I rarely use anything here. I do use the jump to file or go to file, but I just use the shortcut key, so I never use this menu. Same with the edit menu, because I have, as I said, I have memorized the shortcuts to what I usually use. I don't use like decoration and all this as well. Under source, I don't think I use any of these. A toggle comment would be nice, and yeah, I don't use that. Refactor, I don't actually use this as well. I just rename sometimes on my right click and just use the control, just double click on it and just rename it there. Safely delete. This kind of stuff I use when I'm say doing Android development, but I rarely need to do this myself. It used to be wonky in the past as well. I'll just go to the terminal and do it myself, or do it in a file manager and run. This one here, I do use this even when I'm creating a web application. However, when I set up the project, it always wants, for example, if I'm making a WordPress theme or a WordPress plugin, it doesn't make sense to because there's usually an index.php file. It doesn't make sense to use that folder or the file, because I'm saying is the way I'm testing it is I'm only testing it like in the back end or something like that. So I rarely use this feature. And usually when I make a change, for example, it might be a small styling change, I don't need to run this so it opens up a new browser. I just already have it open. I can just test it there instead. Debug, I don't think I've ever used this. No, sorry, I'm wrong. For Java, yes, I have used this. So when you create breakpoints and whatever, yeah, I've actually used this. For PHP, I rarely do, because when you turn on the error checking, it will tell you the line number, so just go there and you can figure it out. Profile, I never use this. I don't even know what this does, honestly. Team, obviously I use Git. I tried Subversion in the past. I've never used Mercurial. Mercurio, I think that's how you say it. Or Mercury. So Mercurio. Hello, Pizarro 2025. Hello, sir. Under tools, yeah, I do use this. I don't use internalization because it's just English. I'm fine. Whatever, US, Canada, I don't really care. Even Britain. As I said, I don't use the Java shell. I don't care about any of this stuff. I don't use Ant anymore because I said most of the Java stuff I do is Gradle by what do you call that thing? Android Studio. Libraries, servers. I tried to use a MySQL server in the past. It worked fine, but I prefer PHP my admin. Have you ever tried NeoVim? Actually, yes. I was actually going to. Oh yeah, yes. I was actually. I recently did GVim, and I was actually interested in trying out NeoVim, but I found out that NeoVim to install on my system, there was something that I think it's only command line only, so that would have made it hard to fit into my my tests. So that would not be fair. And I said usually on Linux systems, Vim is an easy install. It's just like DNF install Vim. And NeoVim, I would have had to. I said it would be difficult to install it on my system. I was kind of surprised too because I thought it would be something simple. So I used GVim. So to answer your question, no, I've never tried NeoVim. I would like to. I might maybe put it in a container and try it that way, so it doesn't muck up my system. So I'll be on the lookout for that. But I did do GVim. I think it's like not too long ago. I think 3 weeks ago or so. Oh, Z editor. Yeah, that's actually on my radar. It's one of the things I want to review, but I think that one hasn't been updated in a while. So that's why I'm debating whether I should actually try that one. And then you obviously go back into NetBeans. You have cloud providers, you have palette, plugins. So plugins, this is what I was trying to say. Under plugins, you see this. By default, it has some default plugins. Some are already installed, and I'll show you those ones. So here in available, I believe they do have Python. Let me search for Python here. Why? It's hard to see with this glare. Can I type in there? Oh, I'm typing the wrong place. Python. Oh, Python is not there. Okay, so I guess I will need to download it and put it there. But that's how you install Python. And installed, you see, by default it comes with HTML5, Java SE, tools, PHP, Java FX version 2, Groovy, Java Web, and EE. EE is the enterprise edition, I believe, and then the developing NetBeans. So if you want to create your own plugins for NetBeans, it's already built in. C/C++, service registry, and base IDE. So as you can see, not all of this have been enabled. For example, the Java stuff, because all I care about is just the PHP really, and obviously JavaScript and etc. And then the settings, and you can see here you can also enable third-party libraries and all that as well. And then the other thing I usually do is under tools, I go to options. I'll open up a new dialog. I'll bring it here, and obviously you can change your general. You see the web browser, default system browser. You can I don't know if it detects which ones I have. See this. Oh yeah, so there's Firefox, Mozilla, and Chromium. I have Firefox. I have Chromium. I don't know what they mean by Mozilla here, because that must be the Mozilla suite. So this probably needs a little tweaking. And I don't have Chromium installed. And editor, I do change sometimes stuff in here. Language servers, no. So you can add, what do I always change in here? Oh, spell check, no. There's something I always change in here. Oh yeah, spell check, yeah. So you can see here, there's no English Canada. So it's a combination, yeah, we are Canadian. So English US and English GB. So that works fine, and then I use it for those languages. I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. I usually don't touch anything else because I'm pretty happy with the way it is, but if you want, you can do that. And fonts and colors, this one I always change it. I'm using the flat laugh dark, and there's some other, the example like this there's usually sometimes a GTK one, but you can see there's NetBeans. You can pick whatever theme you want, and then you can also change the, even when you pick your theme, you can change the syntax, highlighting, annotations, diff, and versioning as well, but I just leave the default. It's actually much better now. Before, the dark themes used to mess up where you couldn't see you couldn't see where to type an error, but they've done a pretty good job since. And the key maps, obviously you can set your own shortcuts. For example, you see this one for npm install, and Java. I said I don't use this for Java, but you can see all the settings there for Java. HTML5 and JavaScript. This is the one where it will detect whatever preprocessors you have, like if you're using Bower and SAS and all that stuff, it would auto detect them. Grant, remember I mentioned that. There's Gulp. I've actually used, believe it or not, I've used all of this stuff before. I haven't used Camera yet. And the mobile, for example, if I had the Android Studio, please set the Android Studio. I think I did this already. And Cordova, this Apache Cordova, that used to be called PhoneGap in the past. And yeah, that's another project that when Adobe bought them, they then the open source version, they donated it to Apache. And then Node.js, I do have Node.js installed. You see it found it automatically. It's in /user/bin node. And then if I was doing node stuff, it would do it here. And you see there's npm. Now the reason I'm okay with this is because I said I'm using Fedora Linux, and they do have very up-to-date packages. So I'm not going to be like 2-3 years behind like say some others. And PHP, it also found PHP. You see it's /user/bin PHP. And then I never touch any of this settings. The debugging, so this is what I said. It automatically has NetBeans -x debug, so I don't need to touch this. Annotations, code analysis, Jenkins. Obviously, I don't have the Jenkins. This is if you're doing continuous delivery. I'm going to touch on that in a very soon coming up tutorial. And then frameworks and tools. As you can see, the frameworks. This might be familiar to you guys with the PHP, because I think I've done. I've actually, I think, done all of these in the PHP web framework series. What else is here? C++. Okay, I don't know why I'd open that up again, but this is the C++ here. Obviously I'm on Linux, so it will find the GNU, usually it's GCC. The teams, obviously this is for, I just work by myself, so I don't need any of this stuff, but the one I do like is the to-do here, and obviously versioning. I said I'm using Git, so I haven't, no, that's not true. Yesterday I believe, or the day before, I did, I might be wrong. No, I know when I installed this, I did push some changes, so that was fine. I haven't actually seen what's new, but they claim that they upgraded it, so that's fantastic. I think they use eGit, which was the E stands for Eclipse Git version. So basically, what Eclipse did is they created the Git code in Java. That's called eGit, and a lot of other Java-based IDEs do use it as well. And here we go, under appearance, again, document tabs, you can change this, the windows, the look and feel. Again, I said I'm using the Laugh Pack Dark, but if we go here, you can see there's Laugh Pack Cupertino light and Cupertino dark. I'm guessing that will make it look more like Apple. And then there's laugh. This is specific to flat laugh. Okay, and you can change the accent colors and all this stuff. You also need a reset when you do that. And the miscellaneous, obviously we have the diff. I do admit I do like the diff in NetBeans. It's very simple. It's actually very similar to a standalone diff tool like this on Linux. And then you have files here, file association, the Groovy, janitor. This cleans up stuff for you when you close the NetBeans. And here's the output. You can see you can change all the colors here, the font size, etc. And the terminal. I do love the terminal. The good thing I like about this idea is that the terminal is not just local. It can follow the photo, which is a very, very awesome feature. Meaning that whatever file you have, if it's necessary or not, you can simply drop right to the command line for that. That's a great feature. And another good feature, which I used to use in the past before I went full on Git, is I used to use the one where to open the file on a server in SSH. That was also an awesome feature. Okay, so that's basically a quick overview, and obviously you have window here. I don't think I've ever used it. Oh, if something is missing, like for example in the output tab, I would toggle it here. For example, you want to see the terminal. This is the only time I use this window menu and help. I think the only time I use this again is just to show you guys the about and see what version. The check for updates, this only checks for updates for that current version. So for example, when I was running NetBeans 26, if I clicked on check for updates, they would show nothing. But there was actually NetBeans 27, so it's only for that version at time of this recording. Okay, now with that said, I do have a folder, as you guys saw earlier. Here's the folder. Let me go back here. I've showed you how to install it. I've showed you the Java version, so we can skip that. And now I do have a folder here which I test for. I test for different use cases. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open. I can drag and drop. And that's what I'm going to do, but I also want to show you guys something. So this is my system here. I thought I changed this. Jeez. I guess I forgot to save. So this is wrong, obviously. The CPU is Ryzen 5 5600 GT. That's integrated graphics. I do have 32 gigs of DDR4 RAM. My operating system is still correct. Fedora Linux Station 42. But the desktop is GNOME 48 Wayland. I'll change this. So this is my test suite. I have one large file. You see it's 1 gig human readable text file. I have a regex file, syntax file, media file, Java file, PHP file. The PHP file is also what do you call it? It's a syntax file. It contains HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and obviously PHP. So the Java version is 21.08. You guys saw that, OpenJDK. Oh my goodness, I don't know why I did this. So many mistakes. It's the problem with copy pasting. PHP version is 8.4.12. Obviously, there's no OpenJDK, and Python version is 3.13.7, and NetBeans version is 27. So so the testing criteria is each feature has 2 parts. So a score 0 indicates that the feature is completely missing. A 0.5 meaning that the feature part works. So as you can see, I'm using a dark theme. That's not the default the way NetBeans comes. As far as I know, I think it's usually light. So for that, as I showed you, it gets a 1.0, dragging and dropping. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to do 2 and 3 at the same time. So I'm going to drag this big file, the 1 gig file, drop it in here, and you can see automatically it says this file 1 gig.test seems to be too large because it's exactly 1 gig to safely open. Opening a file causes an out of memory error which can make the IDE unstable. Do you still want to continue? Yes, I want to do that. So it's not going to open, or maybe it might be slow. So I'll let it run. So basically, in the past, that's number 3 here. it did not crash, and out of memory was shown, and it was not possible to edit the large file. So as you can tell, oh, it actually opened. Wow, I'm actually blown away. It actually did open. Okay, wow, okay, I just had to wait. Very impatient, I'm guessing. See, this is, so somebody asked me, I think it was yesterday, why I do not use an IDE. And here's a perfect reason why I don't use an IDE for everything. Now, that waiting to open this 1 gig file wasn't, or to be honest, I just had to wait maybe 10 seconds or whatever it was. However, the reason I prefer to use light text editors, not always the command line, but sometimes, is because I can open files much faster and I don't have to worry about them crashing. That's the reason why I don't always use an IDE. IDE is great, but they're so heavy. Even on my system, which I recently upgraded, it shouldn't be a problem to open a file like this. But as you saw, it is a. So I'm going to see if I can edit this file. So I'm going to go right here, just a random place, and I just press enter. And clearly, I might have to wait for a while. Okay, what is happening? I'm going to see if I can actually edit this file. I just pressed enter. Okay, so I do not. Okay, according to memory, ooh, that's using quite a lot of memory just for this file. Look at that. It's using about 4.5 gigs just for this one file. So this is the reason as I'm talking right now. This is the reason why I don't use IDEs for if I want something simple. So for example, could you imagine if I was doing some AI stuff, right? I need that RAM. I need the what do you call it? I need most of the stuff to be concentrated on the AI going on. So I don't want like 4 gigs, although I have 32, 4 gigs and other resources to be used for this guy. So okay, oh, looks like it froze. It says misspelled word. I can't do anything here. So I'm going to have to close this. So it still gets a 0.5 and I didn't crash, but I'm not able to edit. Just so this is correct. And I might eventually be able to edit, but I'm not going to wait around. So I'm just going to close this. So obviously, you see even the mouse here, the cursor is also stuck. It's not the cursor for clicking to close. See, oh, I can probably, let me see if I can close this. No, clearly I cannot. So I'm going to show you how you can close. If you guys want to learn about Linux, I'm going to show you how you can close this using the GUI. I know how to do it on the command line, but I'm going to show you on the GUI. So in the GUI here, just go to resources, processes, and you look for NetBeans. It should be up here because it's actually using quite a bit of oh, maybe I'll just search for it. Okay, I'll just search for it. So just click anywhere and just type NetBeans. Oh, what's the save prompt? You guys saw the save prompt. Okay, that's why it's not closing. It wants me to save because I made a change. Like it doesn't matter. I will. Where's NetBeans here? Do it again. Type net. Huh. The only one I see is this one, Java. I'm not sure if this is the same one. 0.1%. I'm guessing this is the one. Surprised NetBeans is not running here. Okay, I don't want to close something up because it may be used somewhere else. So what I'm going to do then, I might have to drop to the command line. I thought NetBeans would show up here. Okay, I'll just drop to the command line. And I'll show you how to close. I can't see that. See, that's another thing when you run something that's not native, it's like it just went behind and I didn't have a chance to click to close it. So I'll open up the console here. Let me see if will it work again if I click it. Oh, there we go. That's what I wanted. So you can see here the save. This is what I was trying to say, save. So I can click cancel because I did make a change, but I'm going to hit cancel. Oh, that's not what I want. Oh, discard. That's what I want, discard. There we go. See the RAM. Oh, look. Is it going to drop? still using quite a lot of RAM. So you know what, I'm just going to close it and I'm going to start it up again. It didn't crash, so that was good, but I wasn't able to edit it. I mean, I guess if I wait several minutes, but I'm saying is I don't consider that a good thing. So yeah, there we go. It's only using, it's climbing up a little bit, yeah, but see the max it's using is 296, so that's way better than the 4, 5, or the 6 gigs it was using. All right, I don't know why it opened up the terminal, but okay. So let's move on. Obviously, you can drag and drop files. For example, I'm going to drag this. I can drag it here. And I'll drag another file. So I'll drag this regex file. And for example, you see this syntax.php. If I want to drag this file and put it in between, see here, I'm not able to do that. I'll explain what I mean. So I drag this. See, I can drag it to the end here. But if I want to drag it right here in the middle, between these two, I cannot. So for example, I do that, you see it always opens here. And not only that, let's say I want to drag it right here on the bottom. I'll try that. You see, if I drag it here, it still opens up here, not in the place I want. So that's why that fails. But after it's open, then you can position this. For example, I want to position it here, right? And then if I want to open up another file, for example, let's say this syntax Java file. Now, if I want to open this file up here, it's not going to work. Here's what I mean. I want to drag it here. You see, it only remembers from the view you were last. So that's why I had to give it a 0.5, not a 1. So that's why number 2 got a 0.5. Hope you understand. So obviously multiple documents can be opened in their own tabs. They can edit. Obviously that's the perfect one. Multiple editors, same thing. Non-project files can be edited. These are non-project files. Clearly I can edit them. Soft wrap, you can enable soft wrap. I don't know if it's on by default. Yeah, so for example, if you don't know what soft wrap is if you look at yeah, see this one here, the dog barked frantically, chasing Kate, a shadow across the lawn. So that's a soft wrap. It's on automatically, which I do like, meaning that for example, if I zoom out here, you can see it fits on one line, and when you zoom in, you see it automatically it breaks at the word and goes to the next line. That's called a soft wrap. A hard wrap, which I don't know why you want to use a hard wrap, but a hard wrap is where, for example, like for example, this word here, END period, the EN and probably the D will be here and the period will be on the next line. That's a hard wrap. Basically breaks the word. And I said when you are programming or writing simple text, you want to break the word, not the you want to break at a word, not break the word. Okay, got it right. Now, spell check, as you saw, can also be enabled. You need to obviously have spell checking on your system, and it will work. So, for example, I think we already saw this when I was doing, yeah, here, for example, you see here, color, the American spelling of color versus the Canadian spelling of color. Now you see, because I don't have the Canadian English, or I'm not using the Great Britain one, you see it thinks this is an error. It's actually not. And then this is obviously spelling errors, and picked it up here. And here, same thing as again, I deliberately created those spelling errors just to show you that spell check does work, even when you type. So an example of that, this color is not, you see, that's as I type, so that does work. And in the settings, you can set it to only work in programming language or to dismiss programming language. Sometimes you might want to dismiss programming language. For example, it might not understand a word, but it might be a word that's reserved for the programming language. Okay, so but it is getting smarter. For example, here, com, I don't think that's a word, and syntax highlighter, that's not a word as well. So it depends on how you do it. Okay, so spell check, I've talked about that. Number 9, word count is not available for NetBeans. Yeah, so for example, if you don't know what word count is, for example, this line here, line 22, let me zoom in a little bit. This line on line 22, it says this wrong, spell GGGO. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this would be 5 words, right? Like that. And you see down here, it doesn't tell me that there's 5 words anywhere there. Now, there's ways you can do this. You can probably make some type of like a macro or whatever. But I'm talking about stuff that's built in. Because this, for example, exists in Guinea. I don't have to install anything else. So that's why. So that got a 0. Doesn't even partially work. So jump to line does work. For example, I'm on line 22 here. I press, I believe it's Control G. Yeah, Control G, then it will jump to the bookmark or line. So that's why you notice I didn't mention anything about bookmarks, but you can bookmark and go back to it, or you can jump to a definition or jump to a line. So in this particular case, let's say I want to jump to line 2, press enter. You see, it went right to the beginning of line 2. I do like that. I do like that. So some editors they will jump to the end of the line. I kind of like going to the beginning here because then I can just, for example, if I want to delete it, I can just select it and easily delete it. But I guess it doesn't really matter. That's not. I'm not going to be too technical or no retentive about it. All right, and indentation also does work. The easy way to explain is, for example, this Java file. You see, I put private int. What does that say? Number. So if I press enter, you see it's nested properly there. And I can also do it for this one here. You see, if I press enter, it's properly nested. And obviously here as well, it's perfectly nested. All right, what else? So fonts can dynamically be scaled. I'm just using the Alt key. You see, I can do it like that, just holding the Alt key and the middle mouse button or mouse wheel. Same here. I like that. One thing I do like is you can dynamically scale which file you actually want. So for example, if I only want to do this one or this one, yeah, you can do that as well. The one thing they don't have is they don't have a go back to or whatever the default, no scaling. So for example, if I press Alt 0, it doesn't work. Yeah, that doesn't work. Like there's no way, if I do this and I wanted to go back to where it was, there's no way to there's no shortcut key to go back. I have to scale and kind of try to get it. If maybe there was I think an enhancement would be if they when I'm scaling, it should tell me, oh, you've scaled 80%, 100%. That would also be nice. Or when I'm doing it, maybe they'll pop up or something where I can then change it. I can just type in a number. That would be nice. At least I don't know how to do it yet. So find and replace. Oh my goodness, I use this a lot of times. So for example, this regex file. Let me see which one this one is. This one says Kate. Is it Kate? Kate. Yes, Kate. So I want to change Kate to obviously simple find and replace. I just press Ctrl H. You see it says find what and replace. And there's the usual find and replace, and then you can use regular expressions. I've used all of this. There's even a better one as well. I'll show you that to you in a second. So it's just NetBeans. Okay, replace all, and then you see down here it tells that seven of 7 items have been replaced. See, the word Kate has been replaced with NetBeans. So I'm going to save that. And there's also another one here under edit. There's something called find in project, and this one here, you see, this is the more fancy one. You can type in the text you want, and then you can also use match. You see, you can use regular expressions here as well. I do use it a lot. I use this quite a bit. One thing I do like about this, they also have the file name patterns. For example, if I'm working on a very large file, I might only want it to search PHP files or CSS files, JavaScript files, and exclude, for example, SAS files. So I do use this feature quite a bit. And this one, inside a project, you can see you can You can search in a particular selection, a project. For example, you might want to ignore projects. Yeah, so I do use all these features. Very, very, very handy. And when you use that feature, an output box will come up here to show you what it found, and then it will show you the line number, and yeah, it's very, very fancy. I do like that. All right, what's the other one? Multiple language syntax. So that's our PHP file. What's our PHP file? Here, oh, here's a PHP file. And you can see I modified the Java file. You can see that's why it's bolded. So this is very handy also for when I'm working with dark theme. I say those little tweaks were very nice, and I know that the file has changed. For example, you see the regex file. I did save it, and you can see it's not in bold. So here we go. You can tell also which file is actually active. It also puts a little bar here. Very, very nice for the dark theme. So as you can see, this is a PHP file, but the HTML is highlighted, and the CSS is also syntax highlighted. The JavaScript is syntax highlighted, and even the PHP is syntax highlighted. So that's why I said I do like NetBeans. It has that stuff built right in. So what are we doing here? Oh, code folding. So obviously code folding will work. For example, we can do it for, let me zoom in here. I don't know if it zooms in there as well. Yeah, zoom in, there we go. You see there's a little, it says minus here. So if I click on that, you see the body for the style. So you can do it there. And we can also do the JavaScript. You see there's a function, there's a minus here as well. So I click it, and that will collapse it. I click it, toggle it, and then see it expands it. And obviously also works for PHP as well. And here we have PHP. Where is the PHP function? I can't see if there's something. I think there's nothing here because there's an error message here. So let me fix. Oh wow. Oh, this was a deliberate error. Okay, there's a reason for this. This was meant to be a deliberate error. So for example, let me comment this out. This guy still doesn't work. I don't know why. Oh, there's okay. I did make deliberate mistakes here because I wanted to see if it picks it up. So okay, I'm not gonna fix that right now. But this is deliberate. I wanted to see if this is a good an IDE. So the difference is the text and IDE. So the IDE found out that there's an error here. There's a warning. Because of if you fix this, obviously it might fix this as well if I remove this. So yeah, so I did deliberately do that to see how smart the IDE is, and clearly it's very smart. It picks up, you see, it gives me the warnings and all that as well. Trust me, it does have a code folding for PHP. It does, because I use it all the time. Right now I can't show you guys code because it's just client code. I'm not going to do that right now. What else is here? So one thing I do like, another thing I do like about NetBeans is you can do a rectangular block selection. So for example, here, it's right here. You see, you can toggle rectangular selection. So I click on it, or you can use a shortcut and just press escape to get rid of the find and replace. So for example, here now, you see that? It highlighted, so that's rectangular selection. Now, one of the things that doesn't work perfectly is that you see it on line 7, it also picked up this word seamed, which it should not pick it up. What I mean by that is if I zoom out and I do this again, you see, that's where it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to pick up it's not supposed to pick up end of the line just because I'm using soft wrap. So I guess that's a bug. Yeah, that's a bug. So maybe in the future I'll show you guys how to submit that other bug. Now you see the funny thing, when I zoomed in, you see this is the way it's supposed to be. that's the way it's supposed to be. So that's the proper rectangular select. It's not supposed to pick the end of the line, because that doesn't make sense. Hope you guys understand. So that's a bug. If somebody wants to follow the bug, go ahead. And then what else is here? The multiple selection kind of works, but it's not really available. You can kind of try to mimic it by using Control Shift or Control Shift left mouse button on the Mac, Command Shift left. That didn't work for me, so I'll explain again. For example, NetBeans. So I've selected NetBeans. Oh, it does work. Okay, NetBeans, and what is it? Control Shift. Let's see if I can pick this one. Oh, okay. I guess I was wrong. So that's multiple cursors. See, the cursor is at NetBeans here, and the cursor is at the end of morning. But it doesn't work the way I expect it to work. I'll give you an example. So if I start typing, oh, it does. Okay, I guess I was wrong. Oh, no, I was right, because remember, the cursor was at the end of the word NetBeans. So I was right. So it doesn't work there. So it should have started typing after, it should have appended to the word NetBeans, and this one should have, this one is correct because I actually highlighted the word. I'll explain what I'm saying. You see here, see right now the word after the word morning and after the word NetBeans, so that's what multiple cursors are. But if I start typing, you see it doesn't do it properly. I guess because I've zoomed in. That could probably be why. Okay, yeah. So you see, it's a little bit wonky. You don't need. Actually, you might say, hey, that's because you have the. Okay, so I'm going to take off the what do you call it? I've taken off the rectangular select. So let's try it again. So after the word NetBeans, you see the cursor is there. So I'm holding Control Shift, and I'm going to click here. Okay, now I'm going to start typing. Oh, it does work. Oh, okay, it does work. All right, there we go. Oh, interesting. So it does work. Oh, okay. So the reason I still didn't give it a perfect score is because I can't select. I can't do the multiple selection. It doesn't work for multiple selection. So for example, I'll explain what I mean. So if I select this and I select this, when I do a search, if I do a search and for example search and replace, it will not work. So that's why it got a 0.5. So that's why it got 0.5. So it actually does work, but the searching part in it does not work. Destruction free mode, you guys already saw that. Under view, you can, for example, I can take off the line numbers and other things as well. And for example, if you selected any of them, for example, this regex, if I just double click on it, you see it will be less with less distractions. And if I full screen, it will only be this file. So that's why. I like the fact you just double click, and that's pretty nice. It has a file manager. So for example, I have this My App. So if I can just drag and drop it, you can drag and drop it in here, and then you see it will open up the folder here, and I can just navigate here. You see my app just opened up, and then inside it's nested. I have another file here, JSON file, and the JSON file opened up. So that's what I mean by a file manager. And also in this file manager, I can right click. I guess I have to click it and right click, and you can open. Say I can create other files inside as well. So that's a proper file manager. So that's why it got a high score for that. And then the terminal, it's integrated. So for example, this file here, new json.json. If I right click, and does it have to be a project? Tools, see, open in terminal. You see, if I type ls, you see it's new json.json. And then there's an option when you're running I guess a project, you can have it, there's a setting where you can say follow folder. It's called follow folder. you can enable that as well. Obviously this is not a project, this is just a folder. Let me see if I can, yeah, I'm right clicking, it doesn't show. Oh, properties, it might be here. No, it's not here, but there's an option where you can, if it's a natural project, you can right click and then set it to follow, meaning that when you open up any file, the terminal will automatically go to it. And you see down here we have the output pane. You see we have the terminal, and then we have the output. And if I had a Git project, it will show up here. You know what? Let me actually try a Git project. Let me find a Git project. That's what I should actually do here. Let me see. I think I do have a Git project here. Hopefully I do. Git stuff. Yeah, Git commit. Here we go. There's some stuff in here. Yes. So if I drag this one, you can drag multiple projects as well. If I drag this in here, you see it says my project, and this is the Git one. Let's see if it picked up the Git. I don't know why didn't it. It's clearly Git has that Git there. Oh yeah, it says master. I didn't even see that. It says on the master branch. This is the thing I do like about NetBeans. Yes, it's the master branch. And what you can do is you go to I usually just right click on it, and yeah, Git. So then it show you the Git stuff. You see I can add, I can commit, I can check out, I can show the history. And then when we go to branch, for example, I see switch to branch, I click here and this shows up. Right now there's only one branch, but if there were more branches, it would show up here. Then I could be able to select the branch. I can also create a branch, and you can see the date. This is not today, this is like almost a week ago. And then I can switch, or I can check out as a new branch, and you can see the message here. What else can we do? One of the things I do like, I think I'll create a dedicated tutorial for that. You can also obviously stash changes, and you can open up the configuration. Let's open up the configuration here. Where did that open? Pop-ups open all over the place. Oh, I guess I haven't configured it yet, so there's nothing there. So what else can I do? Let's see here. Right click on. Let's go to Git, and let's go to repository browser. So here's the repository browser. You can see these branches. As I said, there's only one branch right now. Local remote, and the tags I've created. I haven't tagged anything yet. The stashes, none yet, and there's no remote. That's why there's no config folder. But for a file that has, I mean, a Git repository that has a whole bunch of stuff, you see them here. Actually, you know what? I do have a project. The one we just did something yesterday. Let's go back to the tutorials. Oops, wrong one. Let's go back to the tutorials. I'll show you. Let's see here. What can I show you guys? What did we do yesterday? I already forgot. Let's see here. Was it? Oh, Jellyfin. Oh no, Jellywash. Jellywash. Yeah, Jellywash. Jellywash has this folder is actually a Git repository. So let's open this up. Is it opening up, or what's going on? Oh, this is the config. Okay, I forgot to open that up. Did it open up? What's going on? My project, projects. Looks like it didn't open. Let me try it again. Jellywash. Jellywash doesn't. Okay, let me close some of these. Okay, I'll close this one. My project. Close that one. Try it one more time. Maybe the file is too big. Oh, it's here. I didn't even pay attention. It's here, Jellywash. You see Jellywash? You see it's under the development one. So let's check that one out. and you see the branches. You see there's a local, there's remote, and there's remote origin. Oh, I know, I think because I also did the depth of one, so I only picked the topmost one, but there should be tags in that one. No stashes, no remotes, origin. Yeah, see it GitHub, Fallen Bagel, jellywatch.git. So that's the origins. I'm guessing one is for the development branch and probably some other branch as well, but it's based on the development branch. Okay, so that's basically it. So let's finish up NetBeans here. So it's missing, as I said, some of my required features, but obviously can be installed by extensions that you could create your own, and it got a 87.5% or 8.75 out of 10. And these are just screenshots of basically everything we've done today. And this is the live stream. It's missing, as I say. Yeah, there we go. It's just literally just maybe a few milliseconds behind. So where to go next? If you're looking to take your programming skills to the next level, you can explore the following resources. I have programming books. Search for Fedora Jumbo. They're on Amazon. Multiple languages: PHP, JavaScript, Python, and I also have Mastering Blender Python. Yeah. And then for online courses, I will same for those. I on ojamboshop.com. The links are all in the description for both Amazon and ojamboshop.com. And if you want one-on-one programming tutorials, I offer online personal help, one-on-one. You can book a session with me at ojambo.com/contact. And if you need more, like say about NetBeans custom installation or migration services, you need assistance installing and migrating NetBeans on your system or server, I can help. Reach out to me for support at ojamboservices.com/contact. So, conclusion: Apache NetBeans 27 is an excellent choice for developers looking for a free open source IDE that supports a wide variety of programming languages and frameworks. Whether you're new to programming or a seasoned developer, NetBeans can help you with the tools needed to write clean, efficient code. By following this guide, you'll be up and running with NetBeans on Fedora Linux in no time. Happy coding. Quick reminder that I do a live stream every single day at 2 p.m. Eastern. Visit ojambo.com for details. And also be sure to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments for more frequent content. Now, I did promise that I'll show you guys how to submit bugs. So I'm going to show you how to do that. We're just going to go to Apache NetBeans here. And I'll show you how I submitted a bug in the past. So here, where is there, is it participate, polling requests, reporting issues, and let's click. So there's a GitHub, this is the GitHub page. So let's go to the GitHub page here. So my issue was closed. Obviously it was resolved. So you just go to issues. I obviously log into GitHub, that's what they use, and then you can search for an existing issue. If it doesn't exist, then you can open yours. So I'll tell you what I did. You see this, it says stayed open. So mine was closed. So I'm going to go to the closed ones and I'll show you. I'll just type for my name. Just type for Ojambo. I think that's the name. It helps when you have a unique name, eh? Okay, so you see this one. It says outdated JCraft JSCH library causes incorrect credentials for remote Git repository. So if you actually look here, oh, look at that. I submitted this in 2021 during the lockdown, and you can see that time I was using NetBeans 12.6, and I explained what happened. You see I'm running Fedora, so I've been using Fedora even before that, and I explained what the issue was. I wasn't able to use Git. It would always say something's wrong with the credentials. Then I found out by myself what the issue was. It was because I found out that NetBeans was using an old version of JSCH. So and I also found out that it hadn't been updated since 2018, because they were using one, and this the one they were using hadn't been updated as well from SourceForge, which is another repository similar to GitHub. So, and because Fedora Linux at that time, which was, what was it, Fedora 35, we're using OpenSSH 7.8, which had a newer, it added this word OpenSSH private key instead of the what the that library was looking for, to begin RSS private key. So just because of that, the credentials were failing. So and I also referenced this guy. He actually created his own. He took it upon himself to actually update the code, and so I referenced him, and I explained this was Eclipse. Yes, Eclipse said we're moving away from that library. We're just going to use, I think, OpenSSH directly. And then also I think Jarrett, that's maintained by Google. They also moved away from it. They disabled it, and then you can see the last commit of this JS CH library on SourceForge. So I provide all the links, and I explain how you can reproduce this. And my operating system, you see, I was still using OpenJDK even back then, 11.0.14.1, and then you can see, yeah. So I explained this, and then you can see the name there, or Jumbo, so you can know it's me. And so you see here, some of the code, the username is mbn, so that right. Then he says he personally prefers to use shell, but he put it up for the NetBeans 14 milestone. So after that, then somebody called Matthias Blessing. I hope I said that right. Sounds cool. Then he upgraded. You see, he upgraded from, remember it was 1.4. He upgraded to 0.147. And then he also created a pull request for me. So I did download, and everything was working fine. So I said, you see here, I said I tested the dev version and was able to successfully perform a git push in IDE. The fix should also take care of another issue. So the reason is, when I actually created this issue, another person had a very similar issue. So I figured out, but I didn't search, because his issue was this one. It says newer SSH keys not accepted for remote synchronization. So when I was searching, I searched for Git. I didn't realize it was also SSH keys, right? That's what the JSCH. So when I was when I replied here, I was like, oh, everything is great, you can close the issue. Then I realized somebody else might benefit, so I also did another search, and then you see, then this one, the guy who also did the what do you call it, the one who opened this issue. I think this issue was actually before mine. Mine was 3700. This guy opened his at 3691. So I wasn't. So so that's why I found it myself, and I told him, hey, I most likely is going to close this one as well, which he actually did. So they tested it, and it closed it. And then okay, what else here? Yeah. So that's it. So he says thank you, and that's it. So then you see, this issue was closed, and since then it's been working perfectly fine. Now I don't know. I don't think they need to update this library, but yeah. Oh, and somebody did mention that. He also made some other fixes as well to make it easier to do. But that I just want to show you that. So I'm saying is that you can contribute to projects. You don't always need to code. You can contribute, for example, translations. You can contribute bugs. For example, I've shown you in this tutorial, I showed you guys a bug. So somebody can take, you're free to take that piece of code and apply, submit an issue. Or if anybody from NetBeans is watching, I can do that as well. So maybe I'll create maybe I'll create a specific a tutorial on how to do that for next time. Okay, now with that, this is taking a little bit long. I want to finish this up. I have to go outside, I will check the live stream. I don't see any more chat requests except for Pizarro25. So Pizarro25, thank you again for joining the live chat. And be sure to subscribe if you haven't. It really helps out the channel, all you guys as well. I found out something interesting, that most of you guys who watch this video, 98.5% are not subscribed. So you just subscribe. It helps you out the channel. All right, now with that said, I'm going to end this, and I'll see you guys at 2 p.m. Eastern tomorrow